Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. So there's a video or two out there that I did quite a while ago about the DolceVita. And these videos consistently get a lot of views. They're usually in my top 5 pretty much all the time. However, they weren't review videos per se, so I didn't have all of the information about this watch. So I figured it's been a little while since this thing has been in front of the camera, so let's revisit the DolceVita. And this time I'll be sure to include reference numbers and case sizes. But we're also going to look at a different tank style watch that I own, the Hamilton. Well, it's actually more of a square, but yeah. And in preparation for this video, I learned some very interesting things. According to one article that I was going through, history has been rewritten. What? More on that later. And that little Hamilton that I own is not quite what I thought it was. So let me flip the camera around, we'll take a look at these two watches, and I'll explain what in the world I'm talking about. Let us begin. The DolceVita. We will look at this watch first. I've actually been wearing this all week, taking a break from the commuter. I mean, just look at the design on this. Absolutely gorgeous. I'll have to go back to the other videos that I've made with this and maybe put a link to this video or the full review so people can get the size and reference number and whatnot, because that is kind of what inspired me to make this video, was just getting comments asking about size and reference. And I figured maybe I'll put out an updated one, and yeah. So the reference number for this particular watch is L5.512.4. And this is a pretty small variant of the DolceVita. It's quartz, but I like my tank style dress watches on the small side. Some of the other stats for this, it has a sapphire crystal, and the case size is 23.5 millimeters by 32 millimeters. And these are not cheap, even though they're quartz. They will run you about $1,000. So the DolceVita line is actually pretty contemporary. It was introduced in 1997. And according to TimeWire, oh, and by the way, any article that I used in preparation for this video is linked in the show notes below. But according to TimeWire, the purpose and inspiration of the DolceVita was Longines' move to offer a modern rectangular dress watch that combined Swiss precision and the charm of Italian elegance. It was inspired by the relaxed glamour of La DolceVita. It was made for those who want something refined, simple, and quietly stylish. They were designed by Longines' modern design team and underwent an update in 2015 with softer curves, newer quartz, and mechanical calibers. And what's great about this line is you have lots of options. In fact, the references that I'm going over tonight are definitely not all of them. There's the stainless steel DolceVita reference L5.512.4.16.6. And this has Arabic numerals at the 12, 3, 6, and 9, a sub-seconds, And this particular reference is 23.3 millimeters by 37 millimeters. There's the mid-size stainless steel, reference L5.755.4.71.6. And these are mid-size, so their case size is 26.1 by 42 millimeters. And as you can see, some of them are on bracelets, some are on straps, and yet others are on double straps. So there's the Longines DolceVita X YVY collection. That is crazy. And those debuted in 2022. And they're available in the smaller case sizes. There's the lacquered dial collection. Those are super minimal. Two-tone, rose gold. Then there's the L5.767.4.73.0 that has a sector dial and Arabic numerals. And these are in the larger sizes, so they're men's pieces at 27.7 by 43.8 millimeters or 28.2 by 47 millimeters. And there's all kinds of variations for each of these. And then there's the men's larger 43.8 millimeter, reference L5.757.4.71.6. And I think that is the one that I used to own. These ones are mechanical pieces and have a date window at the 6. And they're quite large. It's interesting, the site says if you have a smaller wrist, you might find this size more comfortable, but I would argue the opposite. If you have a larger wrist, this is going to wear more appropriately as a tank style dress watch. Because again, I just feel like tank style watches wear differently, and you want them to be on the smaller size, in my opinion. Of course, do whatever you want, but yeah. So yeah, look at those blued hands. And that crystal still amazes me. Now, I do think the larger one that I used to own, the crystal was even more crazy. Like, I feel like it distorted even more than this one. But absolutely gorgeous piece. And because I've already done a review of the DolceVita, as well as other videos about it, I thought it would be fun to look at the Hamilton also. And I didn't know anything about this watch, so I had to do some digging. And the first thing that shocked me, I don't know if you'll be able to read that at all, but when I was wiping this watch down for this video, I noticed the etching at the top there. It says 12 karat gold electroplated. So apparently these were higher end pieces than I thought. I knew that it was neo-vintage, it's quartz. It does not have a sapphire crystal. This one has a mineral crystal on it. I used the diamond tester to check that. Now, I've seen listings for this watch where people put these lugs on top of the strap. I have mine on the bottom like this. I've also seen listings done like mine. And when I first received this watch, this is how the strap was done. And I feel like it looks a lot better. It looks really weird having these sitting on top of your strap. However, these are not comfortable unless you have a very pliable strap on your watch. So these apparently were higher end watches. They're a reissue of pieces that came out in 1939, and these were reissued in 1983, I believe as an attempt to try and survive the quartz crisis. So I found an article on Vintage Hamilton. The author had some very interesting things to say. According to him, the whole Swatch watch saved the Swiss watchmaking industry thing It's rewritten history. I've never heard that before, and I haven't found any other articles that say that outright. But I did find an article that, in a roundabout way, supports what he said. Now, before I dive into the articles, let me give you some of the specs on this watch. So this apparently is gold-plated. So white gold. The crystal is mineral. The movement is quartz. And apparently, Hamilton went with really nice quartz movements with bridges and I think all the wheels only powered by quartz. I may need to open this thing up. The case size is 22 millimeters by 30 millimeters. And I've seen these up for sale for about $500 or $600. Now those are the yellow gold ones, but yeah, I don't think I paid a ton for this. Maybe $100 and some. But I would imagine that this might be worth more than that. And just, yeah. But who knows? The ones that I've seen are yellow gold. According to Tom Adelstein at Vintage Hamilton, as a product of advertising, the Swatch Group rewrote history and changed the collective memory of the Swiss watchmaking industry. They claimed that rubber watch, and I'm not sure why he keeps referring to them as rubber. They're plastic, but at any rate, they claimed that a rubber watch with a battery saved the industry. Statistics don't prove that out. The Swatch watch did provide a new line of business, and a profitable one. The little rubber watch's most important contribution was its impact on business conduct. The Swatch watch was Switzerland's first global product. Its processes revived a rusty, broken-down, old Swiss business model. In terms of revenue and profitability, the Swatch watch added to the revenue generated by Hamilton and Rado, and eventually a restructured Omega. It did not rescue the Swiss watch industry. And maybe he's correct about that, because I did find some other articles about Hayek, who created the Swatch watch, and his impacts on the industry. According to Good Whale, Timepiece Digest, and Fortune magazine, in the 1960s, a new contender emerged, the quartz movement. Unlike the traditional mechanical movements, quartz watches were battery-powered, offering a level of reliability previously unseen. The technology behind quartz is fascinating. It leverages the consistent vibration frequency of quartz crystals, precisely 32,768 times per second, to maintain accurate timekeeping. The world's first quartz wristwatch, the Seiko Astron, was introduced by Seiko in 1969, marking a significant milestone in watchmaking history. This technological marvel, championed by powerhouses like Seiko, promised unparalleled accuracy. Nicholas G. Hayek, initially an engineer, transitioned into business consultancy and was roped into SSIH in 1980 to spearhead its restructuring. This strategic move culminated in the merge of ASUAG and SSIH in 1983, birthing the Société des Microélectroniques et d'Horlogerie, SA, or SMH. This union was a testament to the Swiss watch industry's resilience and its determination to reclaim its glory against the surging Japanese competitors. The merger's timing was impeccable. Dr. Ernst Thomke, then CEO of ETA SA, had recently ventured into injection molding, enabling mass production of single-piece plastic watch cases. The merger saw Eboche SA and ETA SA amalgamate, pooling their expertise to churn out more Swiss-made mechanical movements. But the real game changer was the birth of the Swatch brand. Under the leadership of Tomke, now the CEO of SMH, and with Hayek's strategic insights, Swatch was unveiled on March 1st, 1983. Showcasing 12 distinct watch lines, these watches crafted from plastic boasted Swiss-made quartz movements with a mere 51 parts, a significant reduction from the typical 91 components in quartz movements of that era. Hayek's interventions were not just limited to introducing a new product. He streamlined operations, centralizing manufacturing processes, and cutting down redundancies. For instance, Omega, which had over 2,000 models, was producing revenue from only about 15% of these. Hayek reduced the number to around 130, focusing on what consumers truly wanted. But perhaps Hayek's most significant contribution was his ability to rally the industry. He recognized the importance of retaining talent, especially during a period of layoffs and uncertainty. He believed in the Swiss watchmaking legacy and worked tirelessly to ensure that this legacy was preserved and modernized. Yeah, and there was another article that I read that was likening the old pre-quartz Swiss watch industry to casinos, where they didn't have to work very hard to have a lot of money flowing into them. Like they could just kind of coast and maintain the status quo, just do what they've always done, and the money flowed in. And when quartz happened, then they suddenly found themselves needing to work, needing to think outside of the box and do things they had never done. And it sounds to me like Hayek kind of helped that along. So maybe the other author was right, and it wasn't really the Swatch watch. It was actually him that saved the Swiss watchmaking industry. But yeah, good marketing. So there you have it. Apparently my Hamilton watch is gold plated, and it was a higher end piece than I thought it was. In sort of a last-ditch effort to try and survive the quartz crisis. And the DolceVita. Beautiful. Thanks for watching.